She's there. Let's speak with James Wilde MP, Shadow Exchequer Secretary to the Treasury. James, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Nice
to have you with us. Well, it does seem there's certainly a lot of love for your leader at the moment, with a very robust response to Rachel Reeves' budget this afternoon, even though we actually all read it an hour before. But nonetheless, give us your assessment, if you would, and I'm sure you're going to echo much of what Kemi Badenoch had to say, but what did you make of the big Reeves budget 2025?
Well, it was a strong performance for Kemi, and I think she was channeling the anger that people listening to this feel at what the Chancellor's done. Once again, she's put up taxes, £26 billion this time, due to the failure of her policies a year ago. And she's broken the promise she made not to increase the income tax threshold. She said last year that would hit working people taking money out of their pay slips, and then she didn't even apologise for breaking that promise. So what we've seen is greater taxes to fund more welfare spending. I think those are the wrong choices. We spend £1.3 trillion as a country. We can certainly make some savings. We've identified £47 billion worth, and then you wouldn't be putting up taxes, you wouldn't be stifling enterprise, and you wouldn't be hitting people in their pockets.
And nothing on cutting spending, and I think that was the bit. I mean, look, I know it's the Labour Party, and we can argue not unreasonably, you know, that's what the sort of socialist thinking would instinctively do. However, you know, she had previously given a go at reducing, in fact, it wasn't even reducing the welfare budget, it was just reducing the rate of growth of the welfare budget, and that, of course, got hounded out of town by her backbenchers. So there was no real revisiting to anything that even suggested cutting the enormous amount of money we spend on key areas, particularly welfare.
Exactly. If you're a family, you need to cut your cloth according to what's coming in. There's no sense of that with her. I think she was desperate to protect her position and keep her backbenchers on side. Increasing welfare when it's already unsustainable is simply the wrong choice, and making hard-working people pay for increased benefit spending is just not the right way to be going to it. But I think it's in Labour's DNA to take that approach, rather than looking at how can we reduce spending, get better value for money for the taxpayer. Instead, we've had that big income tax threshold tax increase, then a whole smorgasbord of other tax rises as well, whether it's the price of alcohol duties going up, your gambling's going up, everything's going up. I did laughingly say, where's the window tax? And I was worried I'd given her a good idea.
Well, you might have done. I mean, you seem to have a chorus as well accompanying you this afternoon, James. Does that go with you wherever you go these days?
Gladly not. I think it's a few people who don't accept the EU referendum result from 2016.
Yeah, it might well be that. And I think there's a few farmers thrown in as well. Just give us a sense of the mood in the House of Commons then, because this was an extraordinary budget for many reasons. It had already leaked like an industrial sieve for about a fortnight beforehand, and then, goodness me, in something that you really couldn't write, the OBR went and released it before she'd even got in her ministerial car.
Yeah, I mean, an utter shambles. And then we had the farce of Rachel Reeves not reading out the figures that we'd all seen. Every year of the growth forecast has been downgraded now as a result of this budget, but she didn't read out those figures, funnily enough. Inflation's going to be higher, unemployment is going to be higher. All the indicators you want to see are going in the wrong direction. We need to get on the side of the small businesses, the people going out, working hard, creating jobs for other people, and support them, not keeping the tax burden on them and on families as high as it is, and it's going up even to record higher levels. So this is a very disappointing budget, and the whole process has been a total shambles. We've seen companies holding off on investment because of the uncertainty, people worried about their savings, about their pension, and now we know quite how bad it is, and it's as bad as we all feared it might be.
Is this the point where the Conservative Party turn it around? I mean, I'm really thinking about the big response from your leader, from Kemi Badenoch, which, as I mentioned at the beginning, social media seemed to be fairly enamoured with that and thought it was rather positive. But, of course, you know, whatever you guys say, you're in a very bad position right now, certainly in the polls. And it looks as if Reform UK might form the next government. So is this the start of the return of the Tories?
Yeah, I believe it is. We've set out a clear position on the economy. We're the only party talking about living within our means, controlling spending and supporting business. Even some of the other parties, you'd expect the Lib Dems to, but some of the other parties, Reform, they're backing lifting the two-child cap. They're backing increased welfare spending. I don't think that's the right choice. All of the opinion polls show that the public support that cap remaining in place because it's fair for families on benefits to make the same decisions and choices as families who aren't on benefits about the size of their families. That's a point of fairness. So I think as a party we are making the argument. You saw Kemi did that very strongly in the House today, and we'll keep doing that across the country, talking to people and talking to businesses about how we can create an economy and an environment where they can actually succeed. So yeah, that's what the Conservative Party is about. It's great to have refreshing, clear Conservative principles once again to the fore.
James, on that point, thank you, sir. Great to have you with us. James Wilde, MP, Shadow Exchequer Secretary to the Treasury.